Welcome, everyone, to the second show of Collaboration Conversations. Pearl and I are so excited to be coming to you again today to share about collaborations, share a little bit about what we do. Pearl, welcome. So good to see you today.
Yes, yes, I've so been looking forward to this because this is where you and I just get to chat. We share all our pearls of wisdom, all our knowledge, so everyone gets to see how they can improve their business or their life simply by learning from us or reaching out and maybe working with us afterwards as well.
Awesome. And folks, we'll try and keep a lid on the excitement a little bit because when
No,
Pearl and
you
I get
won't.
together,
No.
it goes whoo.
Well, I can say now we will not because it doesn't work.
Okay,
I'm
good.
already excited.
Because when we get together, it's always, it's. I'm sure you can see the energy from space when we get together. we just we just bounce ideas off of each other and just it's just this upward spiral that is awesome, and we love it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
awesome. So we're gonna do something a little bit different today to help you get to know who we are and why you might want to come back and watch some of our lives. We'll be doing a lot of panel discussions over time, but today we're just going to share a little bit. We're going to interview each other, share a little bit about who we are and what we do. So, with that, Pearl, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Definitely. Now, anyone that watched our initial broadcast on Tuesday will have seen this lovely lady, Regina, was asking all the questions, and we all got a chance to share what we did, but nobody really got to hear what a phenomenal lady Regina is. And so when she said, "What we're going to talk about?" I said, "Right, we're going to talk about you because I want you front and center so that people get to really know what it is Regina does." So to start with that, Regina, can you introduce yourself? Maybe give us a brief sort of précis of what you've done previously, what's got you to where you are, what your passions are, and how you like to work with people or help them.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay, I
It
will do
is.
my best. So, as far back as I can remember, I have wanted to help people achieve their potential because I see so much potential in people. And so often that potential just gets unexplored, we just don't develop it. And when I have the opportunity to help someone develop their potential, I mean, you want to talk about energized, that really energizes me. And then when that person achieves their potential and they go out and impact the world in a positive way, oh my gosh, that really gets me excited. People who know me well know that I have frequently gotten off the phone with someone and gone into my husband and said, "Have I ever told you how much I love what I do?" Man's never heard that question before, right? But it's because the energy and the excitement is just so much you can't contain it when you have an opportunity to be a part of what I call the ripple effect. So when I get to help others achieve their true potential, I get to be part of the ripple effect. I get to be part of that making a difference. So I've been involved in a lot of things in my life. I was with Mary Kay Cosmetics when I was much younger. I've worked in the finance industry. In the late 90s, I started a staffing firm with a partner, and we were operating in an area of the world that really didn't know what staffing was. We were out in a rural area, and the only people who really understood what we were doing were people who had been transferred in there by major corporations, right? They'd come from a city where they hired through staffing firms. And most of the people said, "What's that?" So we had to overcome that lack of knowledge of what we were doing. Anybody can relate to that, right? In your business, you had to overcome that at some point. Uh, but we grew that to a company that had 6 offices. We had 3 divisions. We were in 2 states. We had 25 internal employees, 200 employees working for clients. And then remember, this is all in rural areas. Yeah, with one exception, all of our offices were in rural communities, and we grew it to about a $5 million business. And then the crash of 2008 happened.
Yes.
By March of 2009, I was out of business. And it wasn't that I could sell my business. There wasn't anybody to sell it to at that time. We called all of our clients and all of our prospects and talked to them. And to a T, they all said, we're not hiring anybody for 6 to 9 months until we see what's happening with this economy. Well, I had 25 people to support. I couldn't keep my offices open, and I had no money coming in. So that was devastating. That was really one of the most difficult times in my life when I had to close that up. I didn't leave my house for 2 weeks. I couldn't go out the front door. Did everything by phone, and you know, taking care of shutting down. And then and it took me a few months to get everything shut down. Uh, but we did. We closed the doors, and for the next 2 years, I did service work. I did volunteer work. I went out with missionaries in my church. I saw people who needed something, and I helped provide that in any way I could, whether it was cooking meals to fill somebody's freezer so that they had plenty of food for their table, or whatever, just however I could help in the community. And I did that for about 2 years, and then I was finally ready to go back into the business world. And so my husband, when we had moved to the community that we were in up in northern Texas, up in the panhandle of Texas, he had told me, he said, now, honey, I want you to know this is not where I plan to retire. I'm like, okay, that's fine. 18 and a half years later, he said, this is still not where I want to retire. I'm like, okay, where do you want to retire? Well, he wanted to be on a lake somewhere. So we set about deciding where we wanted that to be. And in the process of just trying to figure that out, we found a home on Lake Bridgeport that we absolutely fell in love with. This beautiful 2-story brick home on the lake. And we didn't wait for retirement. We we bought the house, but it was a huge house. And I said, now, honey, the only way I can justify moving into this house is if I can turn it into a bed and breakfast because it's too big for 2 people. And he agreed because we had talked about that in the past. So that was my next business venture is I turned my home into a bed and breakfast. We had some work done on it before we moved in, and I had 2 guest bedrooms upstairs overlooking the lake. And I enjoyed that so much. So for 5 years, I ran the B&B. During that period of time, my husband passed away, but I continued running the B&B and actually bought the house next door and turned that into a lake house rental. So I was quite busy, and then also decided to start a coaching business. A glutton for punishment always. You know? This goes back to you and I, Pearl, and how things just escalate, right?
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, it was a wonderful time. I did that for about 5 years. I ran the B&B and the center next door, the rental next door, and just had a ball. And then ultimately had some health issues that caused me to let that go because I couldn't take care of my guests in the way I wanted to take care of them. And so then I focused on my coaching business after that. All right, what have I left out, Pearl?
I think you've covered the bases. I know we will probably build on that as the weeks go on, but it's a lovely way to show people exactly how your mind works, where you start with one thing, and as we said, we're both like this. We bounce and we pivot off of one thing, and we can see where one thing will grow into 3 things.
Right.
I think this is anyone who sees an entrepreneurial spirit, that sees that chance to build and grow. And you've also shared how you can have downtimes. Businesses can have downtimes, but that doesn't mean to say it's the end. That's when you maybe change, and that's when the pivot starts, because you maybe you take your skills, and they're transferable skills, and you move them into a different area because you have that wealth of knowledge to share with others, but it might be a different topic that you're sharing the knowledge in. And that makes such a difference.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So, Pearl, let's hear from you. Um, a little of the same, what is it? What is that journey that got you here? What is it that you are passionate about and what you're doing in the world?
Right. Yes, I will go back probably to the late 90s, the same as you. That's when I first decided, right, I'm going to do something. And I met a man that at the time was my life. Shortly after that, I realised he was also the life to at least 5 other women at the
Oh,
same
gee.
time. So yes, that sort of changed things. And we were together almost 13 years. Excuse me. I'm going to cough. I've been in back-to-back meetings, so I apologise now if my voice goes croaky. And literally from that, I realised I couldn't stay in that relationship. And for a while, I felt quite down about it because at school, I'd always run the debating societies. I knew where I was going. I was going to be a leader. That was it. I was going to go. I went into a relationship where my partner was quite chauvinistic, and he pushed every spark of energy, every wish I had, he pushed it down.
Mm,
But that doesn't last very long, at least not in my case. And then when I realised, no, I cannot take any more, he did something he shouldn't, and we separated and we got a divorce. I got divorced. I did my degree as a mature student, and I set up my first company all in the same time, all in those same 3
wow.
years. So,
Wow.
and I brought my children up as a single mum from when my daughter was 9. And this is going to age me. My daughter is now 27. And I brought both my children up on my own. I showed them the strong work ethic, and I've shown them that you can achieve anything you set your mind to if you want it enough. So literally,
Right.
I never wanted to work for anyone else. I liked the idea of working for myself.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Once you discover that, it's like, no.
Oh, it is. Well, like I said, if I go back to school days, I was a born leader. I would lead the debating societies. I would have ideas and other people would follow. So I've always gone into that. And I literally, excuse me, this cough is going to drive you mad. Believe me, it's driving me mad. Literally, I thought, right, where do I take my business? And this is where we're probably saying 2004, between 2004 2006. And it was the start of the dot-com era, where it was social media was just beginning. Right. And I first of all, I paid for someone to build me a website, because at the time everyone needed a website. And then I thought, that's a lot of money for something. So I taught myself how to build websites, and I've been doing it ever since, and sort of grew from there. Social media, as an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, literally doing that divorce, bringing up 2 children on my own and doing my degree, there wasn't that much money available. So social media was the way to market things. So I literally, I joined social media when it first started. And literally, I fell into these fantastic contracts, because at that time, anyone will tell you, if you listen to marketeers or people that will show you how to promote your business, they will say you only need to know a little bit more than the next person, and you become a specialist and you can actually train. So for social media, I knew that little bit more than everyone else because I got in early. And so I got the first role I got was looking at the social media policy for the Open University here in the UK. And of course, anyone who's heard of the Open University, it is global, but it's an online degree service. So you can study from home. You don't have to attend a campus or anything. You can do that. You don't have to have the qualifications beforehand. So it's open for everyone to do. And you just do that. It's a paid for service. You don't get as many benefits and help with that. But that's where I started working there and did their social media policy. And from there, Jaguar Land Rover here in the UK, they were looking for someone to help write their social media policy. And of course, I interviewed, I knew all this stuff. So they thought, right, let's move her across there. And then the rest is history. I've gone from Jaguar Land Rover to National Grid, to be Sky B, to NHS, which is our, here in the UK, that's our medical, our health, our public health service.
Right.
And then I fell into government. And for the last 8 years, I've been writing social media, engagement strategy, communications engagement strategy for central government. So you
Wow.
take this one idea and it just grows and you fall into this. And sometimes you have to pinch yourself and you think, can I really do that? And then we have discussions like this, or I share something with someone and it suddenly hits me because their knowledge set is maybe here and my knowledge set is up here. And you
Right.
don't realize until you're sharing your knowledge with someone else how specialized you've become because you've
Right.
been studying for that time. And then COVID hit and I had to relearn and pivot. You know, we were saying about pivoting. I
Yeah.
had to pivot then because the contracts disappeared, because the companies weren't hiring, no one was doing anything, and it went
Right.
quiet. So I went back to social media and shared my message. But it was with individuals, people that had just started business rather than corporate. And they were all excited and wanted to know, yes, what do you do? And then they'd say, what's your fees? So I told them my corporate fees, to which I got a whole load of tumbleweed, quite literally. Everyone wanted to hear what I had to offer, but no one wanted to pay
Until they knew the price. Yes. Yes.
So I did something that I would not recommend anyone do, because I did an awful lot for free, because I stepped back and I thought, right, I need testimonials from a different sphere. The easiest way to do that is to show what I can do, offer it for free and see. But then it got into this spiral that everyone thought, oh, Pearl gives everything for free, so they didn't want to pay. So it took me a while, and you learn. And then I thought, right, true Madonna style, I changed again. What am I going to do? And I thought, what do I love to do? Yes, I love corporate. I tried for a while not to continue in corporate, but as soon as I talk about the corporate base, that's it. I light up, I'm engaged, and I know and love it. But I'm also into my woo-woo. Anyone that knows me knows I'm into my woo-woo. So I started looking at the spiritual side, law of attraction, crystals. Don't get me started with crystals. Where I'm sat here, my desk is full of crystals because they're pretty and they're sparkly and they work things, and I can look at that. So yes, I'm sad, I'm girly, and I like my sparkly bling as well. So this is how we went into this. And so I now mix business, spirituality, and well-being. That's what Pearls of Wisdom stands for. And I share that across all the different areas. But I've also got a knack for collaboration, which is how you and I met. And so our word for this year, which is hence why we've given the title to these series of talks, is collaboration. Because it used to be people feel threatened. If you do something similar or you come together, people don't want to come together. They want to be their own identity and move forward.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, the more you can come together and support each other, the quicker your growth will be, the more stable you will become, because you're supporting each other instead of feeling you have to go forward on your own. And this is where everything has just grown. It's just skyrocketed from that. So yes, definitely collaboration, I think, is the way forward. So does that explain it? It's a whistle-stop tour, and I have this is where we said, as soon as we start talking about our things, we get so excited.
Yes.
The passion comes through. How many times do you see it written that if you love what you do, it's not work?
That's right.
And it is, I know from the spiritual side, I know my purpose is to ensure everyone is given a voice. So my communications background, which social media has helped and everything, this is where I can advise the work that you and I do together. We can give everyone a voice. We can help propel their brand and move them forward. And then by working together, that engagement grows, our message grows. And it's not just one against everyone, it's all of us together sharing into a global audience that means everyone thrives, everyone survives, and we all help each other.
I agree. And it comes back to, we've all heard of that, a rising tide raises all ships, raises all boats, and that's what it's all about. That's what collaboration does for us. Pearl, I want you to give another example of the work that you do. I want you to talk about what happened last year around International Women's Day, so
Right.
folks get a even better feel for what it is that you do and how beautifully you do it.
Now, this, you see, notice how I rub my hands together, because this is
She's
what
excited.
I absolutely love. Cough, cough, she says. Now, International Women's Day, like you heard me say, even from a child, I was a born leader. I felt I had it in me to lead others. And it came about simply by a Facebook memory that come up, and it was just text. There was no images to engage. It was just a text. And it came up last year, and it said that 6 years prior to that, I had been asked to speak for International Women's Day, and it was a local comprehensive school, secondary school, just before the children were going off. Well, no, they'd be young adults going off to college. So it's the step prior to that. And they wanted someone to speak for International Women's Day, and they wanted a woman that excelled in a male-dominated area. And of course, you've heard me say, I do tech. I'm the biggest geek on the planet. I love tech. But of course, that doesn't fit the mold.
Unlike many of us.
I'm this girly girl that will just fit with everything. And I walk into a boardroom to talk to all the tech guys, and they're all really into this. And they take one look at me and think, oh, she's just a pretty thing that's all for show. And then they start talking tech, and I can wipe the floor with them because I love it. So this is how it came through. So I told my story. And just at the end of sharing this post, I said, I love doing that. Who fancies doing something for International Women's Day this year? This was the end of February last year. By the 10th of March, I had 350 women that had joined my project. I had podcast interviews set up. I had panel interviews set up where we talked about everything. I put everyone front and center to talk about their business and what their idea of International Women's Day meant to them. I'd hit the top 1% engagement here on LinkedIn. Now, until I'd hit it, I didn't realize there was a top 1%.
Yeah. There you go.
That comes up on your alerts. Other people don't see it. So I remember taking a screenshot and I tried to share it in something, but it's really tiny because it's just a little thing which just says you have hit the top 1% engagement of LinkedIn. Now, at the time, there was 638 million members. Now, that was this time last year. So it's grown a bit from there. But literally, I hit that twice with the same post in 10 days. The first was the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day. Then I did another push to promote the video that we'd done about that and the panel of speakers. And the same post trended again at 1%, top 1% engagement on the 10th. So it went through that. And then I told you I was a geek. I looked at all the analytics. I will look. Anyone who's in marketing, who's in sales, who's in comms, you look at the analytics because that's your proof. The proof in the pudding is the return on investment. So I was looking and it looked, and my Facebook grew by 7,000%. I thought that's quite good. That's feeling good. And then LinkedIn, where I'd had my top 1% engagement, by the end of March, 25,000% growth in engagement. And this is where, and this is
I should say woman, not man, woman.
This was all done completely ethically, organically, no paid promotion whatsoever, no pods involved, nothing. I train people to engage on social media, and all I did was do my posts and I tagged the women that were involved. And they shared and they commented, and then I made sure I engaged back. So if someone commented, I would reply to that. Then people were sharing that post, and it grew and grew. And when we done the panels, the panel interviews, I do that on Facebook, and by the next day we'd had over 1,000 views because people were then sharing it into their
Right.
network. Because I wasn't promoting me, I was
Right.
giving every woman involved the chance to have a voice and share what they did. Goes back to that whole idea of collaboration. When you bring
Exactly.
people together
Exactly.
and you give them a voice, instead of standing there and saying, look at me, I'm brilliant, I can do this, you say, look at this lady, look at Regina, just how fantastic she is, what she can do. Because then the universe, this is back to my woo-woo law of attraction, what you give out comes back to you tenfold.
Absolutely.
And you're also seen as an ethical business person. If
Yes.
you're always about yourself, about look at this, all right, yes, I've quoted some statistics there, but that wasn't all my doing. This was the group of people that I brought together, and it was sharing that message together
Yeah.
that brought those massive, massive numbers. But if you come together, you're authentic and you give everyone the chance to speak and add to the message or add to the project, you all grow together. All the time it's look at me, aren't I wonderful? It doesn't work. And
Does not.
I'm going to go on to my high horse because this is something I say all the time. Yes, I do social media and I'm pretty damn good at it. But social media, because we've had whole generations grow up with it causes mental health problems. What people share on these networks is the biggest load of rubbish on the planet. When they share their wonderful meal, the photographs, you can guarantee there's 3 meals in the bin that didn't work, but they set this precedence that everyone thinks they have to follow. So everyone bigs themselves up and makes them sound better than they are because that's what they've seen the person next to them do.
Right.
Social media is a phenomenal tool if you use it properly, but please don't believe the hype that half of these
Yeah.
people talk about. And if it's a paid promotion, they don't understand the algorithms, they don't know how to use it properly, and they haven't made the most of their followers, their audience, or make your followers and audience your brand ambassadors, because they
Yeah.
will build your engagement organically. It's free
Right.
and it's genuine.
Yes.
Now, I've probably waffled forever. I'm now going to throw it back to you, lovely lady. Now, I know you are a published author of
Yes.
many books. You help so many people. Can you tell us a bit more about that and the results people get with the software you work with? I know when you've worked with me, just a 10% tweak have my eyes rolling at the potential.
Exactly.
So can you
Yes.
share a bit about that, please?
Sure. So, I talked a little bit about my passion of helping people achieve their potential. And there's another part of that passion that's really important to me, and that's families and marriages. And so my first book, which was an international bestseller, is called Bulletproof Your Marriage. And for me, there's a connection between entrepreneurship and families. And as entrepreneurs, we're under a huge amount of stress, right? There's so much pressure to perform because so many lives depend on our success, not only our own lives, our families, our employees, their families. There's a lot riding on us, right? And our ability to succeed. And so that can create all kinds of problems. And we know of people whose marriages failed because of the stress in the business that's struggling. We know of people who've committed suicide because their business was failing. Many lives are impacted that way. So families are a huge part of my passion. And as I say, I have a slogan: save a business, save a marriage, save a family. Because
Wonderful.
when you take that stress off because your business is performing well, now you can really put some more emphasis on your family, on your marriage, on your health. You can round out your life again. We all got into business because of what we wanted time freedom, we wanted money freedom, we didn't want to work for somebody else, and instead we went to work for a crazy person, which was us. And We put ourselves through so much. So as you get your business built properly where it can be successful, now you take that pressure off and you're able to get back to those dreams of having that time freedom and money freedom and to do what you want to do. And so that's where I work with business owners, is to help them structure their business properly so that it creates that opportunity for them to achieve their dreams in what areas of their life, and to build it in such a way that when they're ready to go on to their next adventure, they have something to sell, or they have a business that they can hire someone to manage it, and they can continue to own that business and have it continue to feed them while they go off and play somewhere. So there's lots of ways. You don't have to sell your business. There's lots of ways to continue profiting from it. But profitability is a real issue for most business owners. And statistically, I read something, I think it's like 90% of all business failures cite lack of cash flow as the number one reason, or one of the main reasons that their business failed. So I work with profitability. I'm a profit acceleration coach. I'm going to show you how you get more profit in your business. And Pearl was talking about software. And Pearl, you haven't seen this newest little addition to our software, but I'll tell about that. We have a profit acceleration simulator now, where I can send someone the link to this, and they can go in and put in what their gross revenue is. They can put in their gross profit margin and their net profit margin, and then they can play with a chart of anywhere from 1 to 10%. If I make a 1 to 10% improvement in these 12 areas, what is that going to give me in additional profit? If you like those numbers, you can click another button and it'll open up 40 different areas, those 12 plus however many that is, 28 more, to hit 40 different areas and show you what that can be. And you can change that little bar up there anywhere, like I said, from 1 to 10%, and you can look at different things. Then you can, if you like that, you can click a button that will send you a report of how to achieve that in those first 12 areas. There's a little video, and it tells you, how much profit that you discovered as you were doing that. And then that's a good primer for you for what I do. So I sit down with you, we'll spend an hour together the first time with me, looking at your business, asking you questions like Pearl was talking about, asking you questions to help determine where the fastest, easiest revenue, profit, and value are in your business, and create a roadmap for you to achieve that. And then when someone becomes my ongoing coaching client, we spend a half a day together going through those areas to maximize that. We're going to look at all 40 of those areas and see what's possible in your business. So it's easy for me to find 30,000, 50,000, 100,000 and more in profit in someone's business. And it's always fun to do because it's so nice to show them and show them that return on investment, because we're bringing so much back to them that my coaching fees become just a very small percentage of what we're bringing to the table. In terms of, usually we're able to find 100 to several 100% ROI on your investment as we look at those numbers. So yeah, it's exciting because we get to really make an impact in people's lives, in their businesses, and that means in their lives. And then they go out and create the ripple, and I get to be part of the ripple effect.
And this is what's so great. I know when you worked with me on this, and like we've said, yes, marketing, communications is what I do. And when we looked at that area of my business, yes, it was quite strong, but you still found such a massive extra amount of income that I just wasn't using. And this software and the way Regina asked the questions, you learn so much. That learning curve just from having, look, because we all specialize in something. And normally when you start a business for yourself, you become chief cook and bottle washer. You
Exactly.
do everything. So you try and do everything. And that one spark that you are brilliant at gets diluted because you're spreading yourself so thinly. Yet the software you use and the questions you ask and the knowledge you have behind that helps you get back to what it is you love, the reason you set the business up in the first place. and it shows you how you can build, how you can grow. So yes, you can go and carefully and safely and quickly move from that one-man band to move further and expand to be an SME, to be that small to medium enterprise, to actually grow.
Yes.
And when get to the stage when, what do you do? This is my company, these are my staff. And it makes such a difference, because not only are you helping yourself, you're helping others. Goes back to that whole thing that you said, you are helping families because you are giving them a wage, you are helping them come in so that they can put food in their bellies and they can have a roof over their heads. And you can't beat that.
And you can't beat that. And it also, that ripple effect, not only in the their clients and what they do, but just that business being more successful in that community. Now you're impacting the community itself, which creates that local impact, and that creates a regional impact, and literally it goes all the way up to the government level. It's there's such a ripple that takes place from that. There's so many people positively impacted by every single business that is successful.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's exciting to be part of.
It is.
Yeah.
And it comes back to our word of the year, collaboration.
Collaboration.
Discussions are all
100%.
about.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
As I say, as one person, you're but a whisper. You come together and collaborate, you are a roar, and every message you send is amplified so the right person hears it.
Yes, indeed. And that's what you do, Pearl. You do that so beautifully. And I love that, you talked about how quickly things can change. As you went through that process with me, you were able to refocus on your strengths, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and say, "Oh, wait a minute. I've gotten a little away from this. This is where I need to be. This is where I shine. This is how I can change the world."
And that's where you helped me discover another key thing that I love to do. I can find monetized areas in anyone's business. Not
Yes.
saying I can make the money for you, because I will talk to you about your business and I can see how you can grow and how you can monetize certain areas. And
She's
again,
awesome at it, folks. She's awesome at it. It is a strength.
Grows. But I can remember you talking me through what your software does. And that's, like I said, when you triggered certain things with the marketing, I realized I'm missing that. I can add that. And once you know that, it goes right back to where I'm giving everyone a voice. I'm helping to grow you, because if you help others, ultimately you help yourself. Back to law of attraction, law of compensation. What you give out comes back to you. Now, anyone who follows me will see that I've added a few things onto my LinkedIn profile recently. I'm a success coach for the Proctor Gallagher Institute, and I feed in and I help my wonderful consultant, Vicky Thomas, and I work with that. And Bob Proctor is just phenomenal. And the fact that we lost him only last week, I can't believe it doesn't feel that he's gone, because you learn so much from that. Half of what I'm talking about today is what Bob Proctor, Proctor Gallagher Institute will talk about. But yes, it helps you grow. And also you'll find there's another piece on my profile where it says joint venture partnership with this wonderful lady here. And again, it's back to collaboration. Both of those things I've added to my profile are forms of collaboration where you bring things together and you amplify your voice. And it just, you don't try to be a master of everything. Then you can go back and see what is it that you love, what is it you want to grow your business in, and you can excel at that. And it makes such a difference when you pivot. I'm using that word again, you pivot. Or because I grew up in the era of Madonna, where she literally reinvented herself all the time. You look at something, you see the situation, and you roll with it. You pivot, you reinvent yourself to move forward.
Exactly.
And that's how you stay current. That's how you stay in profit. And it's
Right.
also being truthful and authentic.
Yeah.
All these people
Yeah.
that tell you, yes, I can give you the 6-7 figures, can you hellers like? No, you've got to be there and say, because if you can do all those things, you wouldn't be pushing so hard on your paid advertising, because it would automatically come to you organically through reference and word of mouth, because you've done it and you've helped other people. And that's
Right.
something to be aware of. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Probably is.
And it goes back to my bugbear. Social media marketing, yes, we use it in business, people use it in their personal lives, but so many people have tainted that mirror, that glass that we see through, so they feel and they put pressure on themselves from young children upwards, expecting to excel at something. And if they don't get as many likes, if they don't get as many shares, they feel that they've failed in some way. And I'm here to tell you, if you just connect with one person in your post and that person goes on to work with you, you build a relationship. That's all you need to connect with. All these numbers, like the ones I've quoted, mean nothing if they get no results. It's just spin. This is the PR machine. You talk about these things. The proof is in the pudding. See how these people are working. What do they ethically do in their business? And
I love it.
Makes such a difference.
Pearl, that was awesome. And before I ask you this next question, I want to concur that in social media, we compare our worst to someone else's best, which might be a false best.
Yeah.
And we need to not do that. We damage our self-image.
Yeah.
And recognize, as Pearl says, there's a lot of falseness, for want of a better word. There's a lot of things that aren't true depictions in social media.
Yeah.
And don't compare yourself. You be you. Let them be them. You be you. Just be the best you that you can be, and only compete with you in that realm. That said, thank you for letting me share about my profit acceleration assessment. But you also have an assessment, a social media assessment, right? Tell us about that.
It's a whole digital audit. Now, this is when I put all my skills that I've had for years and years to work for you, your company, your brand, your profile. See, I've been talking too much, so my voice has gone croaky again. Literally, I will look at your website, I will look at your social media following, I will look at the way you engage with people, and I will tell you what's working and what isn't. I will also do that report. I will say where you can save money and maybe where you need to pay a bit more and pay for a premium product that is going to help you tenfold. Now, the difference with that, it might be that depending on your budget, I can advise whether you need to take on an assistant and sort of maybe outsource to people. And like we say, the gig economy, when we collaborate and we offer that work to other people so you can concentrate on what you're doing. But it's also seeing, and this is what I've done across corporates, is I will go in and I will interview staff, I'll run surveys for your audience externally, and I will write you a white paper, and I will show you what's working, what isn't, where you can save money and where you need to pay more. And ultimately, in this day and age, this is the way forward. And yes, we talked about how I do websites. I'm the first one to tell you, you don't need a website.
You do not.
You really don't. If you've got the engagement on social media and literally having that, or something like Linktree where you can bring all your different social channels together so it looks like a website, that is going to work better for you than having this static thing that it used to be. That proved it was almost like having a shop front, a physical shop front. That's what your website was.
Right.
You look at any user research or user experience thing, look at Jakob Nielsen and Nelson Norman Group and the way they talk about the way people read content on the web and the way they assimilate that information. They don't read a website now. We're talking to you.
And they don't convert.
Yeah. And
Websites
also,
don't convert well.
yeah, we're using a social channel to engage with you now.
Right.
Why would we put it on a website where we're taking you off of a social channel that you use all the time to something you don't really want to do? You're not going to stay. Whereas if you share your information where the bulk of your audience is, so you look at the demographic you want to engage with and who it is and where, you can see, like for LinkedIn, definitely business orientated. So you look at that and you can build it. Facebook is a bit of both. You get a lot of personal stuff, you get a lot of business trying to grow, but you also get those people trying to do the hard sell and it lands flat. And that's why Facebook can sometimes be the most toxic of all your social channels, because people feel it's like they think because they're behind a screen, they can say what they want and they don't realize it's going to hurt. And they don't realize that in a lot of cases, it's illegal. It's slander, it's defamation of character, and you can be prosecuted for it. So again, be aware of that. Think of learning styles and how people engage with information. If people like to watch something and repeat and watch it again so they can learn, YouTube is your best friend, because you can do something, you can produce a video and share and people can watch it again and again. If you've got those lifelong learners that like to consume information in text and write loads and loads of notes, make sure you have a PDF there that people can download. And I say this as a download because then you can engage and build your email list. Do not feel so many people write blogs. Blogs aren't followed as much now. It needs to be, yes, get that information. But again, because of social media, and the way people use different things like their phones, it's a smaller device. They don't spend as long on something. And also, depending on the age group that you want to engage with, they won't have data. If you're sharing a massive video and people don't have data, they might save it to watch later. We all know they won't watch it later.
They won't watch it.
They won't have time. If you look at Instagram, TikTok, something like that, it's quick and easy, and it's a snapshot of what you do. That's the way people engage now. So like I say, you do not need a website. A simple image, using things like Canva or going out to the graphic designers that know their stuff inside and out. Produce something, produce an infographic that people can read the journey and with the message where they go and how they get there. That will work better than having this static website thing that people don't visit and don't engage with. See,
wow.
I took a breath and I started coughing.
Wow. So much value there, Pearl. So much. Thank you for sharing all of that. Folks, you see why I absolutely love listening to this woman and engaging with her and collaborating with her, because she makes me better every time we get together and makes what I do, helps me get that message out so that I can impact more lives, because she really knows her stuff in this area.
But likewise, so do you, lovely lady. And I'm now going to throw it back to you because I've seen the time, but we've got so much to share. And this is just the initial discussion. Now, we talked about the fact that you're an author and you said just the one book. Do you want to share a bit about our joint venture, and then people will see how we can impact their business life, their social life, how they can grow and use that fantastic word collaboration. But this is where we are living proof that joint venture partnerships work. You do not have to meld companies. You do not, we've looked into this. You do not need a limited entity, a company entity. We come together as two separate company entities.
In two separate countries.
Exactly. We are literally half a world away, aren't we?
Exactly.
Literally. And it's just coming together. It's joint venture partnership, bringing both of our ideas together to help others grow. So over to you, lovely lady. Can you share a bit about the
first? I have to give a shout out to Bernie Floresca for introducing us last year. Bernie brought us together, and it has just been such a joy to work with Pearl ever since then. And she interviewed me on her podcast, and then involved me in her panels and panel discussions around International Women's Day. And the relationship has just grown leaps and bounds since then. And we are in several projects together, but the one that we want to talk to you about is how we're coming together to help people on this journey, this visibility journey, right, Pearl?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, because Pearl is the queen of helping you get visibility, queen for sure. And so we've come together and are creating some collaboration books as a starting point. This is the gateway into your journey to increase visibility. And so we're working together, bringing people together to share their stories. Now, Pearl's doing this on her Women Who Lead to start with, in her Women to Lead group, but we'll be doing other projects throughout the year as well. Both of us working together on various projects where we bring entrepreneurs, CEOs, anyone who's wanting that more visibility, where we can bring them together first in this collaborative effort where we're getting the book out, and then we have so many elements to help you to get that increased exposure. So, for example, everyone who's in our books. Also, we're guaranteeing them 20 podcast interviews. We're guaranteeing them a speaking engagement. We're guaranteeing them bestseller status. We're providing them a storefront in virtual reality where they can sell their merchandise, their book, whatever, in virtual reality. Just a ton of things in this program. And Pearl, jump in here anywhere. Feel free to jump in. So anyway, this is really near and dear to both of us. That, again, this opportunity to help people achieve their potential, to help them on their journey, to help them with their visibility. It meets both of our passions, and so we're able to help a lot of people through this. But like I said, this is a beginning step, and we can take you down a pathway, take you down a journey to where you have your own book. You're not just in a collaboration book, but you have your own book, and we can help you with that. We can help you get launched on a podcast if you want to do that. We're going to be providing some folks to helping you with being a public speaker if that's where you want to go. So we have lots of elements that we can assist you in creating that visibility and that authority in your marketplace. Earl, what can you add to that?
Definitely, and it's remembering this theme that I've said throughout here. On your own, you are but that whisper. Then
Yes.
When you come and you plug in to this process that we've put together, that whisper turns into a roar, because through collaboration, through promotion and using our skills and bringing them together, we can take an established brand and skyrocket it, or
Exactly.
we can take an individual that is just starting out and we can build you a solid basis for your brand so you will know going forward. So anyone watching this and thinking, yes, these last few years have been hard, you might have had redundancy, you might have had a payout, and you've got a windfall, and you've always wanted to try something. Come talk to us. We can help you really set that foundation, that platform that you can springboard and start from. We give you a brand, we help promote your brand, and you get to stand out. That entrepreneur that has grown throughout lockdown because you know a good thing when you see it and you know how to monetize it. We can help you springboard even further. And this
Exactly.
is bringing our mindset together through collaboration, that magic word,
Yeah.
and helping you grow. And this is just the start. You've heard the way we think and how we add ways that we can actually help you grow from that. And once we have that discussion with you, the book collaboration could be the start. Then we start to help you write your own book, and we plug in and we give you a platform to actually market your book so it can be added. Yes, we said website, but we could fit that to a Facebook page or something and have the link so you've got all the access there. Go back to learning styles. We don't just offer that printed option. You can look at that. You could have an ebook. You can have a print on demand book, we're looking at audio as well. So again,
Right.
how do people assimilate that information? And if you heard me speak on Tuesday, I use all three. Now I find I will listen to an audio version whilst I'm reading a hard copy, because it helps you take that information in quicker, easier. Or you can go through that, and you can have, I carry it on Kindle as well. So you've got an ebook option, you've got the hard copy, which is what we all started with, that whole library of books that were that paper that you could touch and feel. And then you add the audio to it. And plus, the lovely thing with that, and this is what lockdown has shown us, everyone consumes their media now. It's having that available. Gone are the times where you start to watch a series or something, or you listen to something on the radio, you've got to wait till next week to see it. You turn your audio to a podcast. You look at these ways to engage, and people can then connect with you, see your information, the way we've helped you in this joint venture, the ways you can grow, and the different ways that people will engage with that. Once you've got that, that's where you become established as a thought leader, and you move forward. Because as soon as you start to do that, this is what a book will do for you. You might not necessarily make millions from the book. You make millions from what the book does to your profile. It sets you up as a thought leader, as a specialist in a certain area, and people get to engage with you. And it's a start, a very small price to help you grow. And from there, you get the speaking engagements, you get the coaching engagements, you get the consulting engagements, your business grows. And that comes initially, it could just be that contributing author, you just write one chapter on a book collaboration, then you go on to collaborate on a series of books with other people, or you write a book yourself. We can do all that. We can plug you into all these areas, which means, again, your whisper becomes a roar, and we work together and we amplify our message globally for everyone, so that everyone has a voice.
I love it. I love it. You see, folks, why I get excited about working with this woman.
Ditto.
We have a good time together and help a lot of people in the process. If this is something that appeals to you, put a comment in below, or send a direct message to either of us. We'd love to visit with you about it. We are working on our first project right now for this, and we have great plans for the rest of the year, folks that we're going to help. There'll be series of books. One of the things I wanted to mention too is we'll also be able to provide our authors with their chapter in audio and PDF, not a PDF, but a digital copy, and an audio copy of their chapter. So you can use that in your own marketing as well, or hand it to somebody, you print it out and hand it to somebody, or give them that link so they can go look at it. So we want to give you as many ways as possible to benefit from having your chapter in that book. So yeah, we'd love to hear from you if this is something that is of interest to you at all, and just leave us a comment or reach out to either one of us. Obviously you can click on us and connect with us easily here in LinkedIn. So,
and
very good.
Also, you saw our first session we did as a panel interview. So if you'd like to be a guest on these shows, again, comment below or reach out to each of us. And like we said, we're going to do 2 a week. One will be a panel interview. One we're going to take a topic and discuss. So as well, just on what we've touched on, and you get to know our experience. If there's a topic you'd like us to discuss and talk about, reach out to us or put that in the comment, and then you'll see, and we'll start to promote what dates and everything and the times that we'll be sharing that.
Excellent. And yeah, if you want to be on the panel, tell us what the topic is that you want to talk about, or that you want to be involved in, you want to collaborate on. These are collaboration conversations, and we're excited to have you join us on this journey. We're excited. Thank you, LinkedIn, for providing this platform. This is it's an easy platform to use, and we hope to be able to bring great value through it. So thank you, LinkedIn. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, then I guess we'll see everybody next Tuesday, Pearl, unless there's something else that we need to add.
I think we've shared plenty. People are going to get to know us.
Yep.
And there'll be times, like we say, twice a week, you will get to connect and have collaboration conversations with us.
Exactly. So have a great weekend. This is Thursday, isn't it? Weekend's coming up. So have an amazing weekend, everyone. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.
Bye.